Hello, race fans. Welcome back to our second installment of the night here on Tuesday for Freaky Fast Broadcasting. We're proud to bring you the RSR Cup Series here at the Evolution Racing Leagues. And man, I can tell you what, we got a heck of a race here tonight. It's race number 6 of their playoffs and also the final cutoff race into round of 12 as we'll cut down 4 drivers after tonight's race before we go to Kentucky to battle it out to get our championship 4 for the final race of the season. So we got 3 races left here at the RSR Cup Series. It is getting intense, and we're going to figure out who the champion is in these next 3 weeks. So get ready to be excited for tonight's action because it's very, very close with these playoffs. As always, the RSR Cup Series is brought to you by their proud sponsor of Or Nissan Central, the leading Nissan dealership in Oklahoma City. And I am Zach Hall, as always, up here in the booth. And I got my partner in crime here on Tuesday nights, as always, Brandon Colley here to call the action alongside me with Robert Moyer Jr., our producer, up here running the cameras and calling the shots. So we cannot wait to take y'all along for the ride tonight as we got a fantastic race here at the Kansas Speedway. Brandon, what do you expect to see, man? Because we got some tight points battle coming into this, man.
Well, Zach, I expect to see a lot of maybe aggressive moves from these guys that know they've probably got to get up to the front and get as many points as possible. Got to be careful, though, because that can lead to a lot of trouble. And I also expect to see a lot of high line racing, single file, and seeing who can make that middle lane work out very well to actually be able to make the passes. As we know, riding that high line, it gets incredibly hard to make passes later in the run with worn tires.
Yes, everybody will be migrating to that high line as the runs go on. They will definitely be searching for that. Very tough to pass here at Kansas once it migrates up there, but we should see some very exciting restarts here tonight. But man, the big thing coming into tonight, this is the final race of the round of 12. So now we're going to bring up our points here. As you can see, at the moment we got Travis Everett leading the points here with a 70-point gap back to that cut line of Matt Upbrook there in that 9th position. Also got GT Irizarry there in that 14 machine. He's got 65 points up there in that 2nd position, followed by Nolan Potter, 3rd, 49 points to the good. 44 points to the good is Zach Schrittenthal in 5th, or 4th. 5th will be Matthew Rush. He is 43 points to the good in that 11 machine. Randy Cornwell in the 6th position, 25 points up. And then you got Michael Sheffield, 18 points to the good in the 7th position. But we got to take into account Curtis Preston there in 8th. Was our winner from last week, so he is locked into the final race, or into the next round of the round of 8 there at Kentucky next week. So he has smooth sailing tonight, but we got Matt Upbrook there in the 9th position, 18 points out. Scott Taylor in the 24, 10 points out, or 25 points out in the 10th position. Also Andrew Little, 28 points out in the 11th position, 12, and then 40 points out for Kevin Sabilla in 12th. So we got guys that are within range of Michael Sheffield to make it in that points all the way back to Kevin. 40 points is doable and be able to make up, but if one of these 4 win here tonight, that could upset the whole playoff picture, Brandon.
Absolutely. One of these guys that are just the 4 out, they're really hoping to get a win. And as we saw from practice, Andrew Little setting down the quickest time in practice. See if he can follow that up in qualifying. But if he can, that's starting out the race on a really good foot and doing exactly what he needs to do to try to maximize his points and just sneak in. Because as you mentioned, moving on to the round of 8 next week, and it's no longer for points. This will be the last race these guys are worrying about points. Starting next week, it's just beating the guys that you're racing to advance just purely on having a better position.
Yeah, next week will be very critical at Kentucky to see who can, move on to that final 4 there at Kentucky. It's gonna, these championships, you got to really perform at the end of the season. It comes down to late race performances. We got Kentucky and Phoenix left after tonight, and there's gonna be 2 tracks these guys are gonna have to perform at. But first tonight, you're gonna have to perform here at Kansas to be able to lock yourself into that round of 8 and give yourself a shot to go to Phoenix for a shot at the championship here in the RSR Cup Series. So I'm excited to see how it all shakes out, man. We're in qualifying at the moment, so guys are putting down some fast times as we look at Randy Cornwell doing his qualifying lap. But the interesting thing here tonight is going to be watching these restarts. You can get after it here early in this Cup car, right on that bottom lane with this package of 550 package we have, high downforce. But as you said earlier, Brandon, and alluded to, as the tires wear out, you're going to see these guys migrate to that top line, and that top line is going to be where all the speed is at.
Yeah, yeah, like you said, it's on restarts with fresh tires, these guys they've got 4 sets in, so really only expect them to take tires until late in the run, when you're not having to, make a mandatory stop because you're out of fuel. Uh, that first 5 laps or so after a restart, that's when you're going to see a lot of guys really charging the bottom, trying to use that middle lane to make a lot of passes. Because after those tires fall off, if you don't get to the high line, you're just going to fall back, and there's not much you can do about it.
Falling back will be something we're going to see all night if you can't get up there, that's for sure. 50% fuel load as we come into tonight. Also got stage 1 ending at lap 40 and stage 2 ended at lap 80. So those are 2 critical points to get you possibly 20 total bonus points if you can win both of those stages. As we're looking at Andrew Little here doing his qualifying lap, he needs a big night in that 68 machine to be able to put himself into playoff contention, because right now he's the man on the outside looking in that 11th position, 28 points back. But there's 20 points up for grabs tonight in those stages. So if he can get stage points, those 20 points of stage points with wins, then he could be only 8 points back from Michael Sheffield going into it. Now, no matter what Michael Sheffield does in the stages, also now we're looking at GT doing his qualifying lap, but it gets shooken up all over the place with these stages, and it gives these guys opportunities to make up pretty big gaps on the rest of the field.
It absolutely does. You get the stage points that really shake up. It opens up a lot of opportunities for these guys to gain and lose a decent handful of points, aside from just their end of race finishing positions. And then also it seems that the fuel runs normally don't quite last the length of the stages. They're normally having to pit about 10 to 15 laps before the end of the stage to be able to make it. So I imagine we'll see quite a few guys gambling with maybe trying to stay out or pit a little bit early and hope for maybe another caution to get that track position, get good stage points, and maybe just wiggle their way above that cut line.
Stage points are critical, but I tell you what could be the most critical thing: getting a win. If one of the guys outside of the top 12 or top 8 there get a win, it could really shake up this whole pick and be a lot even closer than it already is. So we'll have to see how it all plays out through tonight here at the Kansas Motor Speedway. But right now, Nolan Potter looking like the man to beat in qualifying with a 29.91 over Curtis Preston, last time winner here at Indy.
And if you look at these qualifying times, Zach, all the way back to Andrew Little, we talked about being quick in practice. He's sitting 10th right now with a 30 flat. It's less than a tenth separating first from 10th right now. These cars are really, really close on times. So great job for Nolan Potter just squeaking out that pole as of right now.
Yes, it was. Very good job there from Nolan Potter there. And there it is, into qualifying. Nolan Potter is your Sheffield Graphics pole winner here tonight at the RSR Cup Series, as we, Gary, align these boys up on the grid, and we'll go through our starting grid here for tonight. There it is, Nolan Potter in a 34 bringing home that Sheffield Graphics pole, followed alongside by the only man locked in here feeling safe tonight, Curtis Preston in that 29 machine. Points leader Travis Everett there in the 59 will be third. Fourth, followed by GT there, your second place man in points. Kevin G. Adrusich there in fifth. Sixth is going to go to Zach Schrittenthal. Seventh, Matthew Rush. Eighth is going to be Harold Watkins. Ninth, Nathan Campbell. 10th place man there, Andrew Little in that 68, looking for a big night for points. Michael Sheffield right on that cut line there, starting in the 11th position, followed by Bob Fitzpatrick there in the 12th position. 13th is going to be Brock Potter. 14th, Kevin Ruff. 15th is Casey Kuntz. 16th is Kevin Sabilla. 17th, Chad Biesinger. 18th, Dustin Stallings. 19th is going to be the 8 of Robert Nestor. 20th, Randy Cornwell. 21st will be Scott Taylor. Adam Buzzio will start in the 22nd position. 23rd is going to be Craig A. Burns. 24th, Matt Upbrook on the outside looking in, 18 points out. Anthony Younes, 25th there in the 54 machine. 26th is going to be Daniel Gonzalez. 27th, Mark Andre Thibodeau. 28th, Ryan Ezel. 29th, Michael Martino. 30th, Richard Gonzalez. 31st, Kevin Zabladil. 32nd, David Hall. 33rd, Drew Hatcher. And running your field is Michael Haru. And 34th, as we will get a talk in now with our Sheffield Graphics pole winner of Nolan Potter, as we go up our Discord here and try to find this man. There he is. We'll move them on down here to our room and get a talking here with Mr. Brandon Colley.
Hey, Nolan, it's Brandon, bud. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Well, great job putting that thing on the pole. Qualifying times were really close. Looked like you just edged out Curtis by about 400ths. So, really good job putting yourself in a good position for a track that's pretty well known for track position being a big factor. What are you expecting from tonight's race? What's your game plan?
Well, game plan tonight is definitely got to outrun the old 29 and 14. They're always fast, and they seem to save their tires well for the late run. So it's that long run speed here that will pay off. Might have to hang back and follow them for a while here, see what they're doing and how much tire they're saving.
Well, I heard it again. Tire management still important here at Kansas, but you guys making your way down the backstretch. We'll let you get back down there and get ready to go green. So good luck, and hopefully we'll see you at the end of this thing. Maybe pull out a win.
Thank you guys. Have a good one.
All right, that was Nolan Potter, your Sheffield Graphics pole order there as we ride on board with him as we get ready to kick off tonight's main event here at the Evolution Racing League. And I tell you what, it is nerves now for a lot of these drivers on the outside looking in, and nerves for the guys near the cut line as the pace car will take the hard left turn off, and we will get ready to wave that green flag. There it is, green flag in the air. Welcome to Freaky Fast Broadcast. Welcome to the RSR Cup Series, and this is playoff action here at Kansas Motor Speedway.
Well, Zach, looking at the top 10, 7 out of the top 10 qualifiers tonight are playoff drivers. So these guys, they know what's at stake, and they're showing up with a lot of speed.
Yes, it is. Look at this already. Nolan Potter there leading off of turn 2. Now look at this. Travis Everett using the bottom with Kevin Jadricic. Matthew Rush on the bottom lane, starting to make up ground. You're going to see that bottom work for probably the first, I'd say, 5 to 6, 7 laps here. And we'll see how long it takes before that outside line becomes the dominant lane. But you're going to see these guys rim riding most of this night to ride against that wall.
Well, as you see, GT Irizarry pulling down behind the 11 of Matthew Rush, trying to make up a little bit of room. Not quite able to do anything. Bit of a pick from the 11. Just try so hard to make any moves you can this early on, because once everything wears in, you don't have a lot of opportunities to pass unless somebody makes a huge mistake in front of you.
And also, you want to get down here and make some moves on the bottom, as you see in the 11 and the 14 here on the bottom lane, trying to make up some moves. But if you get down there for too long, also got Michael Sheffield there. He needs some points tonight up there. So seeing Michael Sheffield up in the mix there on the bottom lane behind GT, trying to get those stage points to be able to move himself onto the round of 8. But you got to get those positions done early and get to the lead, because once that top lane comes in, you're going backwards on that bottom lane.
And I think, Zach, we're about that point where that bottom lane is going to start falling away. The tires are going to start to wear in, and the grip is going to give up. As you see, the top lane already pretty well filed out, and we're going to see these guys on the bottom just trying to jockey their way and find a space to fit into that top lane without losing too many positions.
Look at that. Matthew Rush already used the bottom lane to get to that lead. He's moved himself up to that high line saying, oh, I'll take that. And now GT trying to fight his way to the bottom of Matthew Rush there down the front straightaway. See if he can get up to the top of that lane and get himself up in front of there as he's working his way on the bottom. I'll tell you what, that bottom lane can also hurt that right rear tire also.
Yeah, and traditionally, it seems late into the run, especially in the exit at 2, the car just gets really free. You don't really have that much wheel into it. It's just for some reason the right rear digs in and wants to turn the car a lot. So if you wear out the right rear, you're going to have a really hard time wheeling this thing late in the run off of 2 and might end up looping it around.
You definitely could see that now. GT's able to position himself in that second spot up in that top lane. As you see, a lot of guys jockeying for position right now, trying to get in.
Oh, no, Scott Taylor.
Oh, no, we send the 24 around back in the field. That's our first or Nissan Central caution of the night. Actually, not the 24 go around. I think he might have been involved in that, but who is that got sent around? We'll have to go back on the Freaky Fast replay. As Chad Biesinger in that 23. As we'll go back on the Freaky Fast replay to show you exactly what happened here as they're going down the back straightaway. It looks like the 24 might have just gotten to the left rear quarter panel, that 23, as they go down the back straightaway, and since the 23 around, but I think the 23 does a good job getting the 360 spin here, locks the brakes, lets it start to roll, it gets sideways again, and it locks her down. So that's just a only thing bad about that is that's your set of tires are very hurt, and with only 4 sets of tires, you're not going to want to be, you know, having to use too many of them.
Yeah, Zach, I was watching that. I fell back to look at Scott Taylor and keep an eye on these guys back in the field right as that was happening. And you're right. It's unfortunate for Chad, but I think if you're already back there, you don't worry about taking a set of tires. It's surprising how little a spin like that will actually hurt the tires, especially to a place like this where it's single file anyway. And you're not wearing too badly on that high line with the progressive banking. So I think he's all right. It's just the track position that he loses from that is what's most detrimental. And back to Scott Taylor, it looks like he doesn't have any damage. So still a pretty good night looking here for the 24, one of our playoff contenders.
And it looks like the first guy to pit on come down pit road was Casey Coots in that 31 machine. He brought down at least 15 guys that came down and got fuel only. So a lot of guys taking fuel only here, and also with that 50% fuel load, trying to make it to lap 40, you're definitely going to need some extra fuel here. So that could possibly propel these guys to almost make it if they get another caution, probably.
Yeah, this it's a big move for some of these other guys to fill up their. They only had 8 laps, but 8 laps can make a big difference when you're talking about maybe making it to lap 30 or 35 before the end of the stage at lap 40. It could be quite a big advantage just playing that leapfrog game and getting the track position that's necessary and really key here at Kansas.
It can be a vital factor for sure. The fuel mileage will be, with these, with the lower fuel load, that always makes it tough. To make it to certain distances, you don't have as many options, and these guys are using their options to come down pit road to be able to fill that tank up, and hopefully be able to use it there to their advantage here when it comes down to the stage end.
And looking at it, Zach, Kevin Sabilla is still on pit road, 1:15 pit stop time. I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe he got speeding or some type of penalty. But
Yeah.
not looking good for our man in 12th coming into tonight's race. Really needing a good race to make that cutoff.
Yeah, coming in here 40 points down. Really, if he does not get stage points, it's not looking great for him. So, already going a lap down here possibly. It is not looking the best for that 78 machine right now on pit road.
I'm trying to get a look at him here and see if he's got any type of damage that maybe he's trying to get fixed, but I don't think he was involved or even got any contact during the checkup for that wreck.
No, he hasn't. And his driver is not in the seat, so that means he is not in the car. So he must be looking at something else. Maybe he'll pop back in here because here comes the pace car around the outside. Oh no, oh no, well the car disappeared and it's back. He's not back in it yet, so he will go a lap down here.
I think, Zach, at this point, this will be 2 laps down for Kevin
Yeah.
Seville in that 78. So this is not starting off on the right foot. Hopefully, there's nothing seriously wrong. Maybe I've noticed him blinking. Maybe he's trying to sort out an internet issue and get that fixed. But it may be the nail in the coffin here for his playoff chances. 2 laps down, not the easiest to come back from. The only good news is that he's the only car lap down right now. So if there is a caution, even though he's 2 laps down, he will still get one of those back regardless. That's right, as long as he's not involved.
Yeah, if he's involved, he won't get that. So hopefully he can get that 78 back out on track, one of our playoff contenders. It would be tough to see him go out this way. As I know he's had a few little issues with getting disconnected late in races, so that's kind of put him in this hole. Well, we're gearing to bring this thing back, green flag racing. Now the thing is, it's interesting to see Matthew Rush decide to take the bottom, but at the same time, when you're getting up to speed, I think the bottom lane will be fine when we restart.
Yeah, I was just questioning that same thing, Zach. But again, Matthew Rush has the leader's advantage like that. He takes off like a rocket. But the inside definitely is where you want to be on the restart through 1 and 2. But I think by the time you hit 3 and 4, you want to fall up to that high line.
Yeah, I completely agree, man. He fooled them all. He did that almost before the pace car got off the racetrack. Matthew Rush takes off, shot out of Cannon. Now GT, right on board here with Michael Sheffield. GT to the outside of him. We ought to see if Michael Sheffield can make the bottom lane work. Still 11 laps in this race. Looks like he might slide up in front of GT. Here comes Curtis Preston on the bottom, also with Kevin Anderson.
Well, a track like this where you really have to try to force your way into that high line, it helps if you can have a live spotter. It's Michael Sheffield, power move on the inside, looking to take the lead.
What a move from Michael Sheffield side by side with Matthew Rush. If he can just get down into 3 and 4 and have a good run, he should be able to slide up on exit in front of that 11. There it is.
Michael Sheffield doing a really good job of saving his tires during that first brief run we had from the drop of the green flag. Is then Curtis Preston trying to follow him on by.
And you're seeing him run a pretty wide arc line. Look at Curtis Preston running the bottom now, trying to get past Matthew Rush in that 11. Up on the top side, it looks like the 11 is going to fight back on the outside, and I think this is where the outside is going to start to really come into play.
Yeah, the heat cycle during the caution flag definitely helped pull these things back off, riding around here at pace speed, so able to get a little bit more life out of them on a restart. But like you said, they heat up very quick once they get a lot of that wear into them, and definitely not going to see the length on the bottom that you did at the start of this race for sure.
Curtis Preston fighting pretty well on the bottom there. You got Zach Strittenthal not too far behind too. And two Michigan C's right behind GT. Trying to get in between GT and Kevin Giadricic. A little bit of a hole, but not much there now.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about with the live spotter, having a buddy or a teammate that's not in the race up there calling out what other cars are doing. Because you really want to know the second you've got the gap and you can slide up in front of these guys. As we know as drivers in the car, there's not a lot of view. You can't really see exactly how much space you have. And sometimes you hesitate a little bit because of that and give up a spot that you could have had down having the guy cleared.
Zach Strittenthal still on the bottom. Looks like he was the only guy not able to get up to that top lane. This is where it gets tough. Now, if you can't get up there, you're just going to drop like a rock.
Yeah, and it's not only the run that they're getting off the corner that's putting you at a disadvantage. It's that they're all in the draft. As we see, Zach finally should slide up, and Andrew Little wanting to pull a crossover on him here.
See if he can drive it off deep into 3 and 4 and slide up in front of that too, but I don't think he's going to be able to. I like the move to try to get past him and get some track position, but at the same time, you could possibly hurt yourself worse by making a move. I know that. I've been running in a position before where you try to pass the guy ahead of you. You can do it, and then you just don't get it done, and then guess what? The next 4 or 5 guys behind there just follow that guy through on the outside line, and you're just hoping to get up. Look at Nolan Potter all the way back to a 10th position too, or pole setter. So, he said tire management. Maybe that's what Nolan Potter is utilizing right now.
Well, it's good to have a little bit in the bank, but as the tires wear in, this current tire model we have, it plateaus so much that you'll have a little bit extra, but unless you've got a lot extra, it's just not quite enough. As we see Andrew Cornwell just rolling the bottom, really making it work.
Also, another thing that's really just tough is the fact that it's just so hard to pass. You can save tires, but just because you get there, if you can't use the bottom lane to pass and you can't slide job that person, then you really can't do it.
And that's kind of the key here. You're going to see it all night. We saw it come really close with Andrew Little. The slide job is really how you're going to make many of your passes late into a run. Guys with dirt experience, I think, are probably going to shine a little bit more than the guys without tonight. Just doing that a little bit more often, because it's not something you're going to do very often in these Cup cars.
No, it isn't. We're looking at Robert Nestor and Casey Kuntz battle here back in the 15th and 14th position. You see Casey trying to work the bottom, but it's just so tough. There's Adam Fuzio at 55 right behind the 2 ahead of him directly. Oh, he got a little bit to the wall for that 55.
And damage here is really gonna hold you back. The speeds, especially early in the run, later in the run where there's a lot more off throttle time, you're taking it a lot easier just because the car is not handling very well. It's not going to hurt you, but you're going to give up so much time even being in that top lane early in the runs with any kind of nose damage.
And it looks like Cabin Ruff. He's hit pit road in that 112.
Might be trying a short pit game here, Zach. Trying to sneak out a stage win.
Very pop. I mean, yeah. We look back here at Ryan Ezel running in position number 26 here behind Daniel Gonzalez, David Hall, and right ahead of Marc-Andre Thibodeau. These guys still battling out.
Hey, you see the field towards the back, that front pack is pretty well single file, but back, oh, a little contact. The 21 and, oh, they're around, no caution. Oh, there's the caution.
Oh man, David Hall getting sent around. Looks like also Daniel Gonzalez involved in that too in the 99 here for our second caution of the night, brought to you by Or Nissan Central. And we'll go back on our freaky fast replay and see what happened. Oh, yeah, slide job gone wrong. Right there, you've seen Daniel Gonzalez say, you know what, I'm going to try to make the move to the inside. He went to the bottom, tried to roll the bottom the best of his ability. Oh, and a hard hit there, you can see on the replay. But he just got tight and washed up into David Hall. Really nothing David Hall could do.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing that you're going to be fighting with, trying to make that inside lane work after the tires have worn out. You know, the progressive banking, it's just not there to keep the car down and keep the car planted. And it's just going to wash out. And then as soon as you hit that transition, it gets worse, all the way up until you're either having to lift a lot or catch the fence. Or in this case, that poor guy that was rolling outside of you with nowhere to go.
And look at this, all of them hitting pit road here. As we come down, Michael Sheffield will lead them. And I think from here, what you're going to see is guys just taking fuel.
Yeah, they've only got another 18 laps, 17 laps, probably about 15 by the time we go back to green. And then pit stop at the stage break, take your tires then. It's all about track position right now. You can't afford to give up any positions to the guys that are really not going to be taking tires and just gapping you on fuel. That's just, 6 seconds about quicker, and that's a lot of positions on pit road to lose. Granted, you'll be able to make it back with fresh tires, but then you're at a disadvantage at the end of the race. So safe bet here just for fuel.
Well, I'll tell you what, Curtis Preston used his second to last pit box there to his advantage. And that 29, he was able to win the race off of pit road, and he went from third to first there, guys. So that was a great move. But Randy Cornwell looks like he did stay out here, and he did lead the last lap. We'll see if he pits this time. My thing is, if Randy possibly pitted on that first time, which it looks like he will be coming down here, I was about to say, if you were a guy that pitted last time, could you have possibly made it to the end? Is I think Casey. Is Casey?
Yeah. Let's see here. The top 7 all pit on lap 7. So those guys, I think they took that caution and were able to pack it full of fuel and feel confident that they could make it to the end here. Got a lot of track position from it as well. Going to be really hard because they're all on even tires now. Really hard for these guys in the back to get back up there and take the lead from these guys that decided to gamble early on.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of slide jobs being happening because, you had some of the leaders now get trapped back there a little ways back. You're going to see some guys get pretty aggressive here to get some stage points.
Yeah, I mean, looking at these guys, current leader Casey Kuntz up 14 positions, Dustin Stallings up 16, Adam Buzzio in the 55 up 19, Anthony Ewan's up 21, Craig Burns up 18, Scott Taylor 15, and the 88 of Ryan Izell up 21 positions with this move. So a valuable track position gain for these guys.
Well, the points are getting calculated right now because you got Michael Sheffield was doing exactly what he needed to. He came here on the cut line. Now he's 10th after that pit stop, but still, well, technically going to be 9th because Randy Cornwell there pit after that. But so it's It's not out of the books yet for Michael to get some decent stage points here, but he was looking very good for stage points. If he could have got that stage one at the caution to come up.
Yeah, I'm sure he may end up making up a couple positions here, but he's still in the position where he can gain a couple. And inverse of that, uh, I'm questioning the move by the 18 to lead one lap and give up the potential to gain, upwards to 10 for the stage if you can just hold that track position. I just don't feel like that's worth it.
Yeah, and he's sixth tonight, or coming into tonight sixth in points, only 25 up.
Yeah,
So
he can't afford to give up that kind of points to these guys like Curtis Taylor, or excuse me, Scott Taylor, that's in fifth position, that's trying to race him down, and Michael Sheffield trying to get all the points he can on those guys.
definitely so, and you also got to look back at Andrew Little now in the 18th position. Also, Kevin Sabilla looks like his night is over, unfortunately. So his playoff hopes will end here tonight at Kansas, but that doesn't mean. We had a
Oh,
major
whoa.
on the bottom lane. Looks like the 55 possibly had some issues or didn't get the thing fired back up, or but we'll get ready to bring this thing back. Green flag racing as Casey Kuntz pace cars in. That 31 is going to lead us back to green here. As the green flag is in the air, Casey Kuntz will take off on that bottom lane. He's got Dustin Stallings, Adam Buzzio on the bottom lane behind him, Anthony Yules up top, Craig A. Burns, Scott Taylor, Ryan Ezel, as those are the gentlemen who have yet to pit, or pitted early.
And, prime position, Casey Kuntz out to a pretty nice lead. I mean, you're not really going to gap anybody here. The draft is just so good. As we've got Curtis Preston really sending it in there on the inside. Looks like he's going to make up 2 or more positions here. Power move from him.
At 29, you saw how strong he was at Indy. And he had another strong run here tonight as he's making that bottom lane work. You can see from Scott Taylor, look at that yellow spoiler up ahead of him. That man's already locked in though, so he's just out here having a good time as he's up to the 3rd position already from the start of the night.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't need the stage points, but it kind of blocks a lot of other guys from gaining at least one more point.
That it does. Look at Kevin Jadrosich now battling with Scott Taylor, Craig Burns there up in the top lane, Adam Buzzio. It's a hornet's nest right there from 4th on back.
A lot of guys having to check up pretty hard on the outside. Travis Everett looked like he had to get out to the gas pretty hard back there in that 14th position. But, up to the 10th position, it's, guys are racing around bees, swatting bees in the cars, just trying to get everything they can.
Yes, they are. And, man, oh, man, now Bob Fitzpatrick there worked the bottom lane. Got Andrew Little up ahead of him on the bottom lane. All these guys battling here, trying to get up to the top 2 position for those stage points.
Andrew Little looking to break into the 7th position.
He's doing a really good job. Looks like he might be able to clear Ryan here. He'll be able to move himself up. Oh, wow, he's got a great run, actually.
Wow.
At 50, or at 68. The 68 really got a great run. He moved himself all the way up to 5th in 1 corner.
It might just be that extra fuel load. It's helping loosen up the car on these worn tires, and he's able to just kind of roll that middle lane just a little bit better than they can get around the high side. Because he's looking to go for the lead, Zach.
Yeah, look at Dustin Stallings here going for the lead also in the 84. He looks like he's going to pull a slider on Casey. This is 16.
Curtis Preston, wow.
I think he had to take new tires.
He may have taken 4 and gambled, or taken 2 and gambled because he had a 9-second pit stop. I think the risk of losing a right side, set of right sides for later in the run, these 10 points are so valuable to him.
Yeah, he actually did. He took right sides only, so you're seeing the advantage of right side tires. He's able to take the lead here with only coming to 8 to go here in the stage, trying to get those 10 bonus points. Andrew Little trying to take advantage of that, and I think that's a smart play from him. He's got to do something different to go out there and get these points.
Oh, absolutely. And if he makes it in by less than 10 points, this could be the move that saves his championship hopes. You got, like you said, you've just got to try something. Especially when your back's against the wall like this, when you're sitting on the outside, do everything you can to fight and claw, and he's doing a really good job of it.
And remember, you had Michael Sheffield on the outside, on the cut line. He's 15th right now, stuck on the bottom back here in that 5 machine. And he has got nowhere to go as the outside line is just training a lot of these guys on the bottom lane.
Well, it's unfortunate. Michael Sheffield not going to be able to really gain any points. If doing the quick math in my head, this right here will bring Andrew Little within 20,
18.
I believe, of 18 of Michael Sheffield. So a really good move for him to advance towards that cutoff.
Yeah, 18 there, and if he can get another 10 in the next stage, he'll only be 8 back. You gotta have 8 position difference in the race, so it comes down to the nitty-gritty. You can see this where Michael Sheffield's back here behind Nolan Potter there in that 5 is the bottom lane back there. Nolan Potter, a pole setter here tonight. He's trying to work his way back up there, but look at Michael Sheffield in that 5. He's just stuck on the bottom lane. It really, you can't do anything. He's just kind of stuck there, and this is unfortunate. He was leading this race.
Yeah, and you'll see it all the time. And it's even worse, when a lot of these guys are really single file. And if you're the second car in that lane, you want to make the pass on the guy in front of you, but you risk so much just to gain the one position. Because if you can't make it, you're just gonna fall back, like we're seeing happen to Michael Sheffield here as he finally files into the top lane ahead of Travis Everett in that 59 machine.
Oh, and Dustin Stallings in the 84 up here. He had some type of issue from second place. So he dropped back. Oh, he actually got a little contact from Curtis Preston, I believe. Oh, he got into the outside wall, and then Curtis really couldn't stay off of him there from there. As the 84 got into the outside wall. That drops Justin Stallings back here to the 11th position.
Look at the gap that those tires for Andrew Little have put on the rest of the field. You said you wouldn't really be able to gap anybody, but when you're the only one on fresh tires, I guess you can.
Yeah, it'll definitely do it. That's for sure. Right now he's doing a good job, though, as we're coming very close to the end of the stage, really. So he's got time. 3 laps to go. He's hoping this thing stays green till the end of the stage, and he can get these 10 bonus points.
Yeah, biggest thing right now for Andrew Little, no mistakes, but also try to calculate, how you're going to proceed with the rest of this race, because you're going to start this stage most likely with the lead, with a shorter pit stop, because he's not going to take tires, I would imagine. How are you going to mitigate any losses and then try to work your way back into the end of the second stage for another handful of points if you can grab them?
Oh, wow. Big move from the 14 of GT Irizarry. 24 of Scott Taylor gets into the wall. He was behind Matthew Rush at 11. He used the 24 as a pick. He slides up in front of that. Number 24 now, that puts GT up into the top 5, but look to the bottom lane of him. That is the part of 16 of Matt Upbrook. Oh, is Matt Upbrook? He's 3 laps down.
Oh, what happened to Matt?
That is not good for the 16.
He looks to have quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, he does. Right side damage on that car. Must have gotten to the wall or something very hard.
Yellow.
Yeah, it's the only thing that I can think
of our stage here tonight for stage number 1. Andrew Little is your stage 1 winner. Very important finish there for this number 68. He'll be able to get them 10 bonus points and collect them, put them in his bank, and use those to try to move himself up into the final 8 playoff.
I will check the points really quick, try to do some quick math and figure out where our bubble drivers have finished in this stage and see if they made any progress. We know for sure Andrew Little made up a really sizable chunk. Unfortunate Matt Upbrook being those laps down. But Scott Taylor also a good handful of points, bringing him even closer to that cutoff position where Michael Sheffield currently resides.
Yeah, Scott Taylor's was 3 points ahead of Andrew Little too. So really, that only puts Andrew Little now 1 point ahead of Scott Taylor. So those two are very close on points.
Yeah, unfortunate, Kevin Sabilla, as we noted, he's fallen numerous laps down. Most likely going to end any chance he has for advancing. Matt Upbrook with a bit of an issue, falling a couple laps down. So really, the only two contenders are Scott Taylor in that 24 and Andrew Little in the 68, and both with a good bit of stage points here.
Wow, that's critical for the 24 and the 68 as you'll see him here come down pit road this time. Now I'm interested, Brandon, what does Andrew Little do here? Does he just take lefts and go with that? Because it's tough. He's in a tough position. He definitely doesn't want to use probably another a set of right sides, but I mean he could. We'll just have to see how it works out for him here.
Yeah, I think at the very least, you go ahead and just it looks like he ran a little bit far into his box. Yep, the left sides. Might as well use them now because they're not going to help you too much, but they'll might help you just enough now to maybe not lose a few positions. But it looks like there was the 17 in the 9.
Yeah, looks like
Quick stop for those two.
Kevin Zabladil, he stayed out.
Okay, so yeah, just the 9 with a really quick stop.
Yeah, I believe he probably didn't even take tires. No, he did not. So he elected not to take tires on this stop either.
And as we saw how great, even the right sides only, how fast Andrew Little was compared, this may be another really smart move. We've seen a lot of things similar from the 9 of Kevin Jadrusich in previous races where he likes to have the extra set and be the guy on the freshest tires when it matters.
Yes, he does. He likes to pull that strategy a lot. He definitely does. But now we need to get a talk in here with our stage 1 winner of Andrew Little and see what his thoughts are on the rest of this race, as he is 28 points coming into tonight. Definitely made up a good 10 points there on Michael Sheffield that run. So let's see what he has to say to our main man, Brandon Colley.
Hey, Andrew, it's Brandon in the booth, bud. You got a copy?
I hear you, bud.
Well, Andrew, come into this race outside looking in, chasing that playoff berth here to go into the round of 8. A really good job rolling the dice, taking those right sides, and coming away with this stage win and those valuable 10 points. We saw you take left sides on that pit stop. Now you gotta know you're gonna be a little bit slower. You're kind of in a hole here, but what's the strategy going forward? Was this all kind of calculated? It's gonna cycle back around, and you're gonna be ahead of these guys again.
Yeah. So I've got like 200 or 300 some laps here this week, running all kinds of different strategies. So basically, the goal is I'm going to talk to you guys 3 different times tonight.
I like where your head's at, the confidence. Maximize your points. 10 points for this stage, 10 points for the next, and then 40 for the win. Definitely earn your way in. Even if not the win, just the top 3, because if you win, you're in, regardless of the points you bank tonight. So hopefully it all works out for you. Been fun watching so far, and hopefully it all goes according to plan, and we can talk to you at the end of this next stage.
Thanks, bud. Have a good one.
You too.
All right, that was Andrew Little, your stage 1 winner here tonight at the RSR Cup Series here at Evolution Racing League. And man, that's important. 10 points put in the bag for that 68. Now he's gonna be able to see what he can do on these left side tires only. He's in a tough position, but like he said, he'll probably be able to take the rights on the next stop. So hopefully he can get that positions back up, and then we'll see where it shakes out for him there.
Zach, what I heard there was Babe Ruth calling his shot. He sounded really confident, putting that many laps down in practice. I think he's got something for these guys tonight, really showing up when it counts.
It's going to be critical walk-off home run tonight if he can do that. We've seen it in multiple times in motorsports. Chase Elliott just won his last 2 races and back against the wall. Back's against the wall now for Andrew Little. Did great in the first stage to make up some ground. We'll see what happens here as the pace car pulls off. And Kevin Jadrusich leads us back to the green flag. As there it is, green flag back in the air. Kevin Jadrusich, great restart on that bottom lane. Look at Curtis Preston on the 4 fresh tires, able to clear Andrew Little. This is where those 4 fresh tires are going to be very critical because all these lanes are going to be available for these drivers.
Yeah, and Andrew Little, he's not going to be as slow as he could be with those left sides, but it's definitely not going to compare to these guys on 4 fresh tires. So I imagine we'll just see him roll the high side and try to keep as many guys behind him as possible. But still rolling the bottom. Matthew Rush in the 11, GT Rosari making the pass on Kevin Jadricic for second place, looking to chase down his teammate Curtis Preston, who's made his way up to the lead.
Remember, through these first 5 races of the playoffs, this is our 6th race. First 5 races, we only had 1 playoff driver win. So I'm sure a playoff driver wants to get in there.
Oh, no.
Caution here. As I believe Scott Taylor in the 24 may have been involved here to bring out our 4th caution of the evening here at the Kansas Motor Speedway. Yeah, it looks like some contact between him and the Marc-Andre Thibodeau of the 27 here. We'll go back on Freaky Fast Replay, and there you can see 27 bounces off the outside wall. 24 Scott Taylor is your innocent bystander, nowhere to go. And that is not what Scott Taylor wanted to see after a good stage run there in 5th position, or in the 6th position at first stage.
Yeah, that again, another one of our bubble drivers just trying to advance, and another stroke of bad luck. It seems like the only one who hasn't had any type of bad luck so far is Andrew Little. But I mean, if I'm Andrew Little and I've seen what's happened to the other 4 guys that were trying to do the same thing I'm doing, I'm getting a little bit nervous.
Definitely got to be nervous in their position, that's for sure, Brandon. It's tough, very, very tough to be, on the outside looking in, coming into a race like this, especially Kansas, where it's a tough track to make passes, man. So you can get stuck and get desperate, and that's where you can see, stuff happen at a place. And it's also, if a guy gets in the wall in front of you, it's hard to miss that. You're running so close to each other, and it's hard to slow down on the outside lane.
Yeah, it really is, and you can't just pull the wheel left and expect the car to just pull down that quickly. You're really going to have to get on the brakes and almost anticipate before it happens, just by the way the car in front of you is moving, that he might get into the wall. And if you just don't expect it, can end up rear-ending somebody really quickly and having a bad night. As fast as they're running around the outside, you can really hurt the engine and overheat the car, and that'll cause you a lot more problems as well.
Overheating race cars are never fun, especially as a driver.
Ask me how I know.
He likes running in the back of people, ladies and gentlemen.
Whoa. People like slowing down in front of me, okay? Let's not get it twisted.
Oh, okay, that's how we get it. But yeah, looking now, here's GT running in that 2nd position. GT always, I tell you what, he's always one of the men to beat here. That's for sure, in that 14 machine. And he's, week in, week out, I think the championship is going to go through that 14 car.
He's been strong the entire playoffs. I believe he had one bad race where he had an incident and lost the points lead, but even still, I mean, he's only 5 points back currently from the points leader, Travis Everett. So, now when it comes down to not banking points and just outright finishing to advance yourself, GT is going to be really hard to beat.
Definitely is in that slide drop racing team. As Curtis Preston, won an Indy. He's now positioned himself up there. Maybe he can get a back-to-back victory here in the playoffs. That will be a great momentum swing for that 29 to bring with him throughout that next race at Kentucky to be able to hopefully get into that Final Four. You also got Matthew Rush looking strong. So it's not easy, but I tell you what, Michael Sheffield in the 11th position there, right ahead of Brock Potter there in that 4. He's the one that's got to be nervous right now because he's sitting in 11th. That's not bad, but he definitely led some laps here early to see if he can get himself back up in there and get his way through. As he started 11th, so if he started 11th at the start of this race and got the lead, see if he can get the lead back here by starting in 11th again.
Well, the benefit of where the cars end up running as the run goes on is that you can afford almost to really burn up your tires to gain those positions. Just because everybody's almost in the same boat as you, it's just incredibly hard to make a pass regardless. Doesn't matter, especially if the guy in front of you is slow. He's just fast enough that you can't make the pass, and these guys are going to need a lot of patience because it gets very frustrating very quickly.
Yes, it does. Gets very, very frustrating when you're having to follow somebody and you know you could get around them and probably pull away, but it's tough to pass when there's one lane, especially with that lane being the outside lane. You can root somebody up off the bottom. You can't really root somebody off the top because there's a wall there. So, and it's very hard to miss a person hitting the wall in front of you too. So, pace car lights are out though. Curtis Preston going to get ready to bring us back. Green flag racing with GT there in the second position. Matthew Rush there in the third position. Zach Stritton off fourth. Casey Kuntz fifth. Kevin G. Anderson sixth. And Nolan Potter in that seventh position. As the pace car is off this time. And we are back. Green flag racing with Curtis Preston leading us to the green flag.
Another really clean restart for this front 10 guys, and then it really starts to kind of weave out throughout the back guys making some moves, and about only 5 cars decided to take the outside lane through 1 and 2. Wow.
As now you're seeing Nolan Potter there on the inside of Kevin G. Anderson. Remember, he was our pole setter. There's Casey Kuntz, who made up a lot of ground by pulling that strategy there and got him a good stage run for that 31.
Looking at the 68 of Andrew Little, our stage 1 winner, he's only dropped back to 10th position. It's not too bad for him. Could have been a lot worse, and the longer the runs go on, the better of a position he's sitting in.
And you can see there Michael Sheffield now moving himself up to the 8th position as Kevin Anderson continues to drop back. Wow, look at the hard racing up there ahead. Nolan Potter. Got Nathan Campbell behind Nolan Potter there. They're on the outside of Casey Kuntz. Seeing that bottom lane can work on these new fresher tires.
And you see what Nolan's doing. He's running that seam between the transitions and the banking, and it can really help loosen that car up, and you can almost go full throttle and just hope that the car doesn't step out too much where you're going to have to save it. But he's got a lot of speed right now in that 54 or 34 machine.
Looking very strong. That was our Sheffield at this pole setter. So he's always looking strong. Look at Michael Sheffield now getting by Casey Kuntz as they go down into 1. So Sheffield will move himself up into the 7th position. That's a big, big position for him because he needs to continue to make ground up and keep that 68 behind him in points.
Yeah, I'm sure he felt like he let a little bit get away there, but even if Andrew does go out here and win this second stage, if that 5 car can just stay in the top 10 and gain a little bit, it just kind of mitigates that loss and makes it a little bit easier for him to figure out where he needs to run at the end of this race to make sure he still advances.
Yeah, and it's also critical. Michael led laps early too. Same with Andrew Little, so that kind of negates Andrew Little's lap lead, and that definitely helps out. You look back at David Hall in that 21. He's behind Craig Burns here, who's also behind Kevin G. Anderson and Andrew Little directly ahead.
Yes, we have Steve on Facebook saying, "Let's go, Craig Burns." Always a lot of guys and men and women out in chat cheering on Craig. Good to see them turning out.
Oh yeah, Craig's a fan favorite out there. You know that for sure. Our Darlington winner there. He's looking very strong, and also he's the leader in points for that 17th position that pays out. So great for him there. See if he can continue to hold on that for the rest of the season.
It looks like they're 3 wide for the lead up here. Wow.
Whoa. Look at this battle. Michael Sheffield. Wow, look at Sheffield, man. He is literally taking no prisoners tonight. Usually we see Sheffield kind of be methodical, work his way up nice and easy. He's the guy top of the run Darlington. Really methodically work his way up, didn't really worry about stage points. But tonight, I think he knows that he has to go out here and get everything he can. He's directly ahead of his teammates.
And I think that might have a bit to do with the fact that they are teammates and they understand, hey, you know what, we're both locked in, but Michael's right on that bubble. We need to do everything we can to help him. So you know what, we can afford to give up the lead. You never want to run second, but helping your teammate, it kind of makes that hurt a little bit less.
Oh, definitely. A team win can feel great. Slide Out Racing has been strong all season long. As you can see, Michael Sheffield still hanging on to this lead of this race.
And you know, Zach, going back to what you said about, you know, Michael being really calculated and, you know, not very aggressive, he just kind of is really patient with his moves. I think he's just really good at understanding how a race needs to be run. You know, talk about Darlington, where it's a track where you're not really racing your competitors, you're racing the track and just taking care of your equipment. He understands that you absolutely have to race the other guys here. You can't just race the track, and you have to be aggressive. As GT makes the move inside here, so trying to cross him over. Doesn't look like it's going to work though.
Doesn't like it's going to work there for GT. It's tough to make that bottom lane, and then it checks you up. And now let Curtis Preston go to the inside of GT now. See that 29 can make the pass for second position. Don't think it's going to happen here as we're looking at Nolan Potter there. Now back to Harold Watkins in the 22. Here battling with the 6 of Richard Gonzalez. The 21 of David Hall. 2 Napa know-how cars. It's 2 clones out here chasing down Harold. He's like, which one's which? Harold doing a good job to hold that outside lane and get that done.
You see the 18 of Randy Cornwell. He actually came into pit at lap 50 during that last caution, where I believe he just topped off the gas tank, trying to go just a little bit further than these guys, as we've got the stage is only 17 or 18 laps away for that stage caution.
That it is. Not too far away. Michael Sheffield continuing to lead with GT in that second position. Curtis in the third. His extra throttle definitely putting some pressure on those 2 guys. The 3 Slide Job Racing guys up in that 2 machine.
Ooh, contact between the 4 of Brock Potter and the 84 of Dustin Stallings. Everybody keeps it going. Just a little bit of door rubbing off the corner.
Yeah, little door rubbing as the 84 tried to make the pass on the bottom. It's just tough to make passes down there. Yeah. Gets the pass back around the outside.
Yeah, it tightens up so much off the bottom, middle of the corner, and you know, I was watching the racing up front earlier, and it just seems to me that you really can't wait until the exit of the corner to try to slide up in front of the guy. If you're going to do it, you got to do it center of the corner, where everybody's really going to be off the throttle the most.
Yeah, late exit sliding up in front of somebody can be very detrimental. That's for sure, man. And
yeah,
dangerous move.
Yeah, I think if you're going to pull a slider that late, you might want to do it at the end of the race, because it's really a good way to get yourself turned.
Another fan outfit on Facebook for Craig. Get it, Craig. It's Craig right now running in the 14th position right now for the 12th car. As we look from the front bumper, Matthew Rush, Nolan Potter here running in that 7th position. And you see it's kind of nose to tail up front. These guys are just filling it out. But the thing is, what's going to be critical here, Brandon, is when do these guys pit?
Well, Zach, I think you want to run it out. My logic being that if you pit here, and it also depends on if you take tires, but if you decide to take tires when you pit here instead of the end of the stage, your tires are going to be a little bit fresher than they would be if you tried an undercut on these guys. So you run it out as far as you can and take the set now. Maybe not take it at the stage break, and you would pit at the stage break for tires. But it's a big gamble as far as, you know, trying to gain track position now versus later. So my perspective is run it out and take tires. Then as we got Sheffield coming into pit, answers that
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, well, I just noticed while we were talking there too, Brandon, that Andrew Little and Kevin Jadrosich both hit pit road, and both of them guys grabbed themselves 4 fresh, or I believe not, maybe not 4 fresh tires. Let's see here. Oh no, only right sides for Andrew Little again. Yeah, but he had to back up a little bit. He had made a little mistake, but I believe Kevin Jadrosich grabbed his first set of tires for the night.
Well, it looks like they're gonna be just on the outside, maybe going a lap down when they come back around, but should, with those fresh tires, easily get back on the lead lap. As yeah, Michael Sheffield, 15-second pit stop here, full tank of gas.
Yeah, and you got him 4 fresh tires too, so I think he's planning and saying, you know what, I need to go out here and get this stage win. I need to get these 10 critical bonus points, and I think that might not be a terrible call from his end.
Yeah, and once everything cycles back around, he's gonna be in a pretty good position to have undercut these guys, just being able to roll the bottom for as long as he can, and just kind of settle in ahead of them, and not have them be able to pass. So might actually be a really smart move, undercutting. But we'll have to see how it shakes out for him in the 5 machine.
So far, GT up front still staying out. Curtis Preston coming this time. Zach Schrittenthal and Nathan Campbell there now in the 2nd and 3rd positions. Continue to stay out with Nolan Potter, Matthew Bush, and Bob Fitzpatrick.
And they're not far behind the 27 of Marc-Andre Thibodeau, that being GT Irizarry and Zach Schrittenthal. So lap cars starting to come into effect here. Just guys a little bit off the pace with some damage, and that can happen pretty easily here.
And Curtis Preston comes down to just fuel. So Curtis Preston definitely doing the strat. I think that's for the race win, more of a strat, instead of points. He's locked in. He's saying, you know what, I'm just gonna go out here, get some fuel, make sure I can get to the end of this stage, and then I can come back down into the stage and give him some tires.
Oh, absolutely. Like we talk about pretty much every week, that the real race doesn't start until after that 2nd stage caution, where there's no more guaranteed breaks. You don't know how it's going to play out. Early in the race, you kind of want to strategize around those guaranteed cautions and put yourself in a position to have a lot of track position going into the last stage and size yourself up with the guys that you're really trying to race.
It's always about sizing up your competition. We're going to see these guys pit very soon. Still have GT Irizarry out there in the lead, Zach Schrittenthal. My thing is, if you could stretch it close enough to 80, you could take 4 tires here and then come down for a splash at the end of the stage and have track position.
That would absolutely be the strategy that I would like. I don't know exactly how close they are on fuel, but the closer you can get and still take tires, with that quicker pit stop when everybody else is going to pit, it will absolutely gain you track position. And with the heat cycle, it's not going to hurt your tires that much. You're still going to be able to fire off pretty fast compared to the rest of the guys that maybe took tires on that stage break.
And here it comes. Irizarry, Zach Schrittenthal, Nathan Campbell, Bob Fitzpatrick, all of these gentlemen hitting pit road. We're about to see who makes the right call here with 75 laps in the books, only 5 laps to go till the stage end. I think you're going to see no tires and fuel. Zach Schrittenthal deciding to put tires on.
Well, Zach, I'll tell you who I think just won this stage, and that's the 18 of Randy Cornwell, as he pitted lap 50 during that last caution, and he's currently our leader.
He's definitely sitting in the best position. And all these guys who are pitted now, they got to unlap themselves, as Curtis Preston now has unlapped himself. But not too far behind Randy Cornwell is Michael Sheffield, as the stage end here coming at lap 80.
And these guys are going to be hustling to try to get back around Randy Cornwell, because everybody is going to have to pit. And these guys that decide, if they're a lap down and they have to take the wave around, it puts them really off cycle. And But if they come down to fill up to stay on cycle with everybody, they just get trapped a lap down. So this might be disastrous for quite a few guys.
Yeah, the guys that did not take tires, they aren't usually being able to catch Randy Cornwell as fast as they are. Curtis Preston was able to get by, as he didn't take tires, but he was close enough and he pitted soon enough to be able to, make up that ground. As Michael Sheffield also unlaps himself, Kevin Addersich unlaps himself, but the next car lap down will be Chad Biesinger, as now it's GT in the lucky dog position.
And GT's not far back, but I mean, he'll get back on the lead lap just by virtue of the lucky dog, but he very well has the speed to unlap himself as we see him coming around the 18.
Tell you who needs to unlap himself is Andrew Little. As Randy Cornwell will be coming to the Sheffield Graphics white flag for stage number 1, as Andrew Little's just coming out of 4 now, and they're taking the white flag, so I don't think I catch him here. We'll have to see.
And it seems like week in and week out, Randy Cornwell is always doing something different. He's always got some strange strategy that he just kind of pulls out of a hat. I'm pretty sure he just writes things down on little strips of paper and reaches in while he's driving and pulls one out and goes, "Yeah, that's what we're doing."
Wow, coming out of 4, it looks like strength and throttle around, rush around, Potter around, Andrew Little. Oh, and there's the end of the stage. Randy Cornwell is your winner. But I tell you what, Dustin Stallings is going to be the first car lap down. Andrew Little, 1 position away. Oh, the yellow has not come out yet. Oh, man. We have not got our stage caution yet. Yellow. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Very lucky timing for all them guys, because that caution came out when the 18 crossed the line. Andrew Little would have been the first car to have to take the wave around.
Well, based on the radio chatter, it sounds like just a slight mistake from race control there, hitting the wrong button to not throw out that caution. Big break for a lot of these guys, and that really shakes up the complexion of this race.
That's huge for Andrew Little. He is sitting there saying, "Thank you."
Better to be lucky than good.
I got point here, while Sheffield got 9. So now that's only 2 points he's made up on Michael Sheffield now. So it's back to a 26-point gap, which puts it where he needs Sheffield to have some type of trouble, or Andrew Little needs to win this race.
This shook up quite a bit of the strategies going forward here. These guys, a lot of these guys just caught a huge break. Man, I can't. That's they probably used up all their luck going forward here. Even if they should make the transfer, and they're just gonna have a rough next 2 weeks.
It's very interesting to see. But Randy Cornwell is your stage number 2 winner, and he's already got his service done as he ran out coming to do the stage in there. He'll get the 10 bonus points for that though. And I believe he'll also stay on the lead lap, I'm pretty sure. So that's good for him. As the rest of the guys come down pit road, we can get a talk in with Randy Cornwell and see what his thoughts are on winning stage number 2 tonight with that strategy. We heard him talk about strategy earlier, Brandon. Let's see what he has to say.
Hey, Randy, it's Brandon in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, buddy. What's up?
Man, I don't know how you do it. I was talking, it seems like you just put stuff down on little strips of paper and pull it out of a hat and say, you know what, that's the strategy we're going with today, because you're always pulling out something crazy. Did a really good job to get this stage win, man. We saw you run out at the end. Were you worried that you might run out and it all be for nothing?
No, I knew I'd make it to the end of the stage. I was worried if I would make it back to pit road, but I had to try something in the cutoff race, try to get all the points. I didn't get any in the first stage, so hopefully winning it leapfrog some of that, if that makes sense.
Well, more points are always better, but if you can go out here and win this thing, points don't mean anything. So how are you feeling about your chances to win? You feel you got speed to compete with these guys that have been up there, swapping the lead back and forth this race?
I think I have long run speed, but I think I just found the strategy to win the race, and I don't think anybody else is gutsy enough to try it. We'll see.
Well, no guts, no glory, as they say. So hopefully, we'll see how it works out for you. But if it does, we'll be talking to you here at the end. So good luck for the rest of your race, and we'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it.
And tell you what, no guts, no glory, Brandon. That's it's the truth right there. And man, oh man, I am blown away with how that stage ended. Let's see what Randy Cornwell can do from here, but we'll see. Like he said, he thinks he figured out maybe a strategy to possibly win this thing. We'll have to see how that all shakes out, man.
Yeah. Like I said before, this is when the race really, really starts. And we're definitely looking like we're going to have some green flag pit stops here, and that could shake everything out too with the undercuts. So these guys got a lot of decisions to make here to make it to the end of the race and put themselves in a really good track position to bring home the win.
Well, I tell you what, who's looking pretty good right now is Schrittenthal, as he is our leader in that two machine. As we're under our fifth caution of the night here, shout out to Nissan Central there, our fifth caution, and that's our stage caution. So two of the cautions there for stages, so only 3 cautions here technically tonight for incidences. So been a very clean night here as we get them all racked back up and get ready to go back green flag racing. Awesome to see. And now no stage points available. Now let's just see who can win this thing. Man, this is going to be wild, Brandon.
Yeah, I imagine closer it gets to the end here, the more aggressive a lot of these guys would be. You've seen them kind of hesitate on pulling those slide jobs. Get down to the last 15 or so laps. I don't think they're going to be given that much. They're just going to be trying to chop some noses off here for position.
Oh, they're going to be taking. When they hear clear, it's going to be door shut. Sometimes you can shut that door on someone's finger, and they were not too happy. As this time by, that pace car is going to take the hard left turn off. And we're going to get the RSR Cup Series back underway here at the Kansas Motor Speedway. Zach Schrinthal takes on with the green flag in the air. Kevin Giadrich in second. Owen Potter third. Nathan Campbell in that fourth position with Michael Sheffield in fifth.
Really good start here. Again, not much in the way of tire spin. Michael Sheffield falling back a little bit. That outside lane just not quite as strong on the short run, but you may save a little bit to get you to the front for the long run as we got a caution.
Oh,
the 24 of Scott Taylor.
Oh, when it goes from bad to worse for the 24.
Yeah, Anthony Yunes and 24 of Scott Taylor involved in that. Unfortunate for our playoff contender, Scott Taylor.
Here we'll go back on the freaky fast replay here on the Nissan Central caution. Oh, the 24 gets to the quarter panel of Anthony Yunes, and look at Cornwell get involved in that. His car goes a bouncing. I have to take another look at Cornwell. As we heard him, he thought he had the race winning strategy. I don't know if that hurt the car too bad, though. I definitely hurt the car pretty well, but could have been worse.
Unfortunate. That's kind of the risk you take when you have a strategy that cycles you to the back and you got to fight through traffic. Really big risk of getting caught and stuff.
Definitely so. As we're under our 6th caution of the night here, brought to you by Nissan Central here, riding with Randy Cornwell on the Freaky Fast replay. We'll see how hard a hit he took here. See, he went up on 2 wheels like a bicycle. Man, oh man, almost flipped that car over with the hit. That was intense to see. That definitely shook him up a little bit. But that is definitely wild. But we want to use this time here to give a shout out to our sponsors here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting and here at the Evolution Racing League. So we got some great sponsors, and thank all you fans out there for tuning in, and go check out these sponsors if you would love to. And first sponsor we want to give a shout out to, of course, here is the RSR Cup Series guys, is Sheffield Graphics. Brought to you by Michael Sheffield. They specialize in sim racing paint schemes as well as team logos and race posters. Remember, they do not charge for their work. They only ask for a donation to the Folds of Honor charity, so you can go find a link to donate directly to the charity on the Sheffield Graphics Facebook page. And they're based out of Chesapeake, Virginia, owned by Michael Sheffield. And remember, you can go check them out on Facebook.com/Sheffield Graphics. The primary sponsor here at the RSR Cup Series is Or Nissan Central. Or Nissan Central is the leading Nissan dealership in Oklahoma City. So you go check out their website at www.ornissancentral to go check out all their great cars they have at the Or Nissan Central in Oklahoma City. Also, we have, this is pretty cool. The guys here at RSR have added on ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing to their sponsor list here, and they also are a sponsor here at Freaky Fast. So we got a dual sponsorship going on here. So remember that every game deserves a truly immersive experience. The ButtKicker Gamer 2 lets you feel every detail from the subtle footsteps to the rumble of a V10 powered race car, from ambient environmental effects to the power of a nearby explosion. By moving the physical mass instead of only air, the Gamer 2 provides instant, accurate, powerful base response. And it's all perfectly synced with every video game, no additional software required. So remember to go check out ButtKicker and their ButtKicker Gamer 2 at ButtKicker.com. And we also need to give a shout out to one of our sponsors here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. That is Rocket Racing Setups. Rocket Racing Setups is your one-stop shop for all your iRacing setup needs. We've been dominating the dirt since 2017, and after a short break, they have rebuilt and are ready to rocket their customers back to the front of the pack in 2020. They're producing setups for dirt oval, asphalt oval, road, pro trucks, and rallycross, and currently have multiple setup builders working to do setup packs, booklets, coaching lessons, and much more. And remember, you can find Rocket Racing Setups at www.rocketracingsetups.com. We also have a 10% promo code for rocketracingsetups.com, and that is DLAM09. So DLAM09 for 10% off all your iRacing open setup needs. And those are our wonderful sponsors here at the Evolution Racing League and Freaky Fast Broadcasting. And we want to give a wonderful shout out to them as always and thank them for allowing us to put on this amazing show and giving us this opportunity. We also want to thank all the fans out there for supporting us, and just a view is important to us. So just by you viewing us is very, very important to us, and we love it. We'd love to hear your thoughts or any concerns, anything in the chat. So just let us know, hit us up there in the chat, and we can definitely get you set up. But also, you need to go down there and check out the description. You got our merch store for Freaky Fast Broadcasting, and also the Evolution Racing League's merch store there in the description. So go check that out. Go get you some sim racing merch. Thank you to everybody tuning in as always. Hit that like, follow, share, and subscribe button. And let's have a great night here as we got 60 laps to go in this wonderful race here at this cutoff playoff race.
Very well said, Zach. Golf claps around.
That was a mouthful. As we get ready, though, that was perfect timing. Look at that. Pace car is going to pull off. We're getting to go back green flag racing here tonight.
Green.
And Zach Schroeder will take us back to the green flag with Nolan Potter and Nathan Campbell and 3 stealth motorsports teammates out front here.
It's always a good feeling when the only guys you're racing around are your teammates.
That it is, but look at this. GT says, I want to break up this stealth motorsports 1, 2, 3. Let me get myself up in here with Slide Job Racing. Also got teammate Curtis Preston not too far behind him. So we'll see if these guys can break it up there on the bottom lane. Look at the 14 making a good run. GT taking over that 3rd position. He wants more.
Yeah, GT says, you know what, I've rolled around in 2nd, 3rd place enough. I want to lead this thing. As if Bush Beer needs any more airtime this year.
Yeah, that paint scheme must just have something about it that's fast. Is looking now, GT going for the lead on Zach Schrittenthal. He's got teammate Curtis Preston not too far behind on the bottom lane. These 2 guys in Slide Job Racing going to the front.
Yeah, and it amazes me how well they're just hugging that white line on the apron there. They're not really bobbling or coming off of it really until they want to. The car's definitely feeling pretty good for those 2, it looks like.
Yeah, one thing you got to remember is GT and Curtis Preston did not take their tires on until that stage caution. Strithenthal, Potter, and Campbell all took 4 tires during their green flag stops. These guys got a little bit fresher tires. Also got Matthew Rush coming up into the picture with Andrew Little in that 60.
Andrew Little looking to go back to 4th place. You know, he had a plan to win both stages. Unfortunately, fell a little bit short in that 2nd stage, but go out here and get a win. Man, points don't matter anymore, and I guess he's thinking that's what he has to do because he's making a hard charge.
Yes, he is now up to that 4th position. Matthew Rush starting to pressure Curtis Preston a little bit. Even got points to Travis Everett starting to come in the picture. I haven't talked much about him tonight.
Yeah, a little bit of contact in the back under some cautions, a little bit of rear end damage, but definitely not hurting the speed. I would absolutely prefer to have a crinkled rear bumper than a crinkled front bumper.
Definitely so here, especially at Kansas. But now you're seeing him try to fight on that bottom. He's got all the way up to that 3rd car in line. Can he go any farther? That's the question.
Unfortunately, I think we're about at that point where the bottom line just kind of gives up, and Travis Everett looking, if he can't find a hole to fall into, he might fall all the way back outside the top 10.
He's got a whole army of cars up on that outside line to try to pull him back.
Doing a really good job rolling the middle and not giving up too much speed. Doing a little bit here to try to force these guys apart, maybe force a checkup and create himself a hole.
Sometimes creating a hole is the only thing you can do, Brandon. But it can end up in tears, too.
He's got a slight opportunity that just closed up behind Andrew Little. I think, and that's one thing you notice, is riding around in this pack, you see the guy on the inside. You're just thinking at that point, try to stay as close to the guy in front of you as possible. Don't give him a chance to ever fall in. Zach had to lift just a little bit. Opens up the door. Not quite enough, it looks like. And then we got Dustin Stallings rolling the bottom coming up here in a hurry.
Yeah, Dustin Stallings making a charge up on the bottom. He's done a great job to get to the back bumper of Travis Everett. It's kind of, now where does he go?
A little bit of a gap there, not going to take it. But Nolan had to check up, but that opened the door for Casey Goodson, the 31, to dive underneath Nolan Potter there. Guys are dicing all over the place as Travis Everett finally falls back into line.
Yeah, he gets into line, so does Dustin Stallings, but look at Casey Kuntz trying to make that bottom lane work.
A little bit of a gap behind Nolan that Casey can fall into, not really give up too much, but I've noticed Nolan seems to be getting back to the gas a little bit later than some of these guys up in the front, just kind of leaving that gap between him and the car in front.
It's so tough. I mean, you see these guys just tucked up behind one another. On the outside line, not much room to slide up and make a mistake. Anybody makes a mistake, hits that wall, you're going to see a huge chain reaction on that top one.
Yeah, and really that's where most of the incidents come from, especially late in the run. Restarts can get hectic just because of how aggressive you have to be, but most incidents will come from late in the runs, somebody having to check up on that high side and maybe somebody getting into the fence and it just kind of accordions, and normally it's the guys at the back of that line that feel it the worst.
As we're looking back now at Michael Sheffield here in the 5, running in that 17th position, came in tonight on the cut line. And, for him really now after getting second in the last stage, those 9 points definitely helped Owen. He's got cars passing him to the outside. Is he pitting?
He's pitting. Bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it plays out.
I wonder about this strategy. Hopefully this is something he knows what he's doing. Here with 50 to go, I think maybe he's saying, I can make it with one more stop from here. After this stop, as Ryan Ezel came down pit road too, but he missed the commitment cone.
Well, unfortunately, this is going to result in him going a lap down, and he's probably going to lose the draft on these guys. Now, the absolute worst thing is if they get a caution right now. it puts him that far off cycle. He's already off cycle, but just being a lap down, not being able to kind of, say, hey, we got a caution here. Everybody else is going to pit. Do I want to be that one guy that's not out of sequence? Because either it works out extremely well or you just give up a lot of positions. But this will take away that chance for him to rethink and reset.
I think the biggest thing for him is that, he came in here, 28 points is good on Andrew Little. He got the 9 points there in that stage, while Andrew Little's got 11 points. So Andrew Little has made up 2 points on Michael Sheffield, down to 26. He's in the 23rd position right now, while Andrew Little runs in 24 or in the 4th position. So that's a 19-point gap there between those two. That's not too far. If he has these few issues, he could be looking at himself out of this race if something was to get him caught up with something. So maybe it's a good call to go out here and get by himself and just run as fast laps as he can. But we'll have to see, Brandon. I'm definitely questioning it, but we'll see how it plays out for him. I mean, either way, these guys are going to have to make 2 stops that have to stop.
Well, the way I look at it, Zach, is that coming into this race, Sheffield was pretty, he had a pretty padded lead. He didn't need to do anything too crazy. Just be really conservative. Don't put yourself in a position where you stand to lose a lot of points. Whereas, Andrew Little needed to come out here and be super aggressive and almost throw a Hail Mary at it because he had so much that he had to gain. And I feel like it's a lot more to lose than Michael Sheffield will gain for that stop. Little miscue with Andrew Little there at the front, trying to make the pass on the 11 of Matthew Rush. Just about closed the door on him.
Trying to pull that slider. He tried his best, but now he's in jeopardy as we look at Craig Burns. Wow, Dustin Stallings went 3 wide to the bottom of Andrew Little, made the pass on the bottom. Andrew Little now going to have to fall in behind Nolan Potter and get up to that top lane.
Well, I think it's still, he's still rolling in the top 10, but he's just kind of sitting on that middle seam. Now he's just got to kind of get himself recollected here as he's under fire from the 31 of Casey Kuntz. Settle down a little bit, try to gain all that back, because that was a big miscue that ended up to a lot of positions lost.
Wow, this is shaking out pretty crazy, man. Andrew Little, I know he was trying to go for more to get that 3rd position, but now it's put him back to the 9th position. So a net gain of 1 has now gone to a net loss of 5. Not looking good.
Yeah, that was something we talked about, trying to make a pass and it's just not working and getting freight trained by the guys that are rolling the top side. You've just so much patience is required. You've got to try to figure out when is the best chance for you to make that move, where you're still going to have a hole to fall in if you can't make the pass.
Yeah, it's a tough thing. You want to make up the points, and you want to try to get there. But also, if you can get that 4th place position locked up, that puts Michael Sheffield in some pressure to not have a mistake or have an issue.
And we've seen so far this race that, issues are popping up out of nowhere for a lot of these playoff guys. And it very well with Michael Sheffield being back in the field, trying to fly through with his fresh tires. He could find trouble very easily. So just kind of settle down and let it unfold. Take it 1 pit stop at a time, I guess.
This is where it gets down to the nitty-gritty, and you're just trying to get everything you can, but sometimes you lose from trying to get everything you can, and it's tough. And I'll tell you what, though, the guys that had pitted and took 4 tires on their stop on their green, that didn't take tires under the last stage are doing good. Like Look at him get to the outside of Matthew Rush almost going down the front straight. I think Rush is able to close the door on him. Yeah, Nolan Potter, you look at Nolan Potter throwing the big run to the bottom. Somebody hit the wall on the outside lane. That almost opened up a slot for him, but now he's going to go backwards. And, he had nothing to lose for Nolan Potter there to try that. He's pretty well into points here, over 40 points to the good. So he's looking at pretty much being locked into this thing.
As we see the two of Zach Schroeder, they're all making the move underneath Matthew Rush. And Rush has a little bit of right side damage. It's going to slow him down a little, but not too much. As looks like he'll make that pass pretty easily, able to slide up in front.
And Nathan Campbell tried to follow suit there in the 52. Just couldn't do it. But I tell you what, the two out front of GT and Curtis, they pulled a little gap now that little bit of racing happened.
Yeah, and if you can just get hooked up here and almost go nose to tail, you can really have a chance to pull away, especially two teammates working together like that. The draft really does play a big factor with the speeds that you're carrying off the high line here. As we see Travis Everett getting around the 11 of Matthew Rush now. Looks like Craig Burns and the 11 are both deciding to come in this time by, as well as the 8 of Robert Nestor.
Yes, there they are, the 11, the 34, the 12 of Craig Burns, Robert Nestor, and the 8 coming down this time. Ooh, Craig Burns.
He got in really hot.
I don't know if he sped.
GT Irizarry calling out that he's pitting, as well as the 2 of Zach Schrittenthal, 29 of Curtis Preston. Casey Kuntz as well, going to follow them in.
Yeah, Craig Burns definitely sped with 45-mile-an-hour pit road speed. He was going 60.
That is not what you want to do.
Yeah, that's going to be excessive speed, and this is going to be a long hole for him here. As you see now the long train of cars here pitting on this green flag here. Travis Everett, it looks like, an Andrew Little and Bob Fitzpatrick really the only guys up in that top lead pack not to pit.
Andrew Little calling out that he's coming in this time by, but unfortunate for the fan favorite of Craig Burns. I'm afraid chat's going to start erupting here any second for protests. Yeah. We need to have NASCAR official go ahead and look the other way on that one.
That speed, he needs to recalculate that real quick. I think that's wrong speed.
Your calibration seemed to be a little bit off, sir.
Yeah, as Andrew Little hits his box, he slid through multiple times here in the 68. Gets her woed up good that time there for the 68. Let's say he's taking left sides only.
Well, I mean, he saw how good the fourth or just the right sides paid off earlier. He was able to pull out pretty good gap, but I don't see anybody not taking 4 tires during this pit stop. I mean, Travis Everett looks like, I don't know if he has pit already, but he had a slower pit stop, so it looks like he maybe only took 2 as well.
Be interesting to see how that all shakes out, but now I think the lead will cycle around once we get everything to Sheffield, and he's got a pretty sizable gap back to the other cars out there. But Randy Cornwell still is. Randy Cornwell actually hit pit road this time with Bob Fitzpatrick also, so those guys hit pit road. And it's, you got 32 laps to go. I don't think those guys are going to make it to the end from there. So it's still one stop from here, but now Sheffield in control. I think Sheffield might have nailed the pit strategy on the head. If he pits at 125 again and goes the next 25 laps to the end, the gap he has right now, 31.51 back to, I believe, GT there. And that's a 30-0 for GT. That's it's a second and a half a lap, but Sheffield has about a 4-second lead over these guys. If he can get to that pit stop without them passing him, it gives him a good spot to be in, because you got to remember, he was in 17th when he pitted, so he was a good bit back for the lead. So he made up a decent bit of ground. If he can hold this lead till these guys get to him to when he pits, he might be able to pull off this victory with this strategy.
Yeah, I mean, and he's a second and a half almost slower than a lot of these guys. Kevin Jadrusich slowly rolling him in here down to half a second, but GT's still 2.5 back. I think he's probably going to wind up about third by the time he decides to come in and pit. But it might just be perfect to where he's got just enough of a lead that they don't have the time to run him down at the end of this race. So it's very close, but a very bold strategy. And you said when you're in, he doesn't have to worry about being on the cutoff anymore, worrying about what anybody else is doing.
That's for sure. As Kevin Jadrosich now to the lead in the time. And our cutoff. We know.
Yeah.
We know. Off race. As now GT within really a couple hundred feet here, and now you're going to see these two of Curtis Preston and
Looking
GT.
to go 3 wide as a car coming off the pits. Oh,
that's a slide job race, 3 wide move right there.
Let's see how good they continue to run the bottom on those fresh tires. Kevin Jadrosich pit about 9 laps later than Michael Sheffield, so a little bit extra speed in that car, but the fresh tires of GT and Curtis Preston going to be a little bit too much to handle, I think.
I definitely think so too.
Kevin gets loose off the corner, about tank slaps it.
I did a tank slapper there. Here comes GT to the bottom lane. I think this is going to be a pretty easy, clean-cut pass. Here's they come off of 4. He does clear Kevin Jadrosich, but look, Kevin fighting back to the outside lane. But it looks like GT's going to be able to cover him off here.
Well, the good news for Kevin is, he cycled out to about 3rd place here, and it's Curtis Preston looking to challenge his teammate for the lead now. He's got their draft, so it's going to be able to make up a lot of that lost time just for the older tires, especially if they're just rolling the high side. But unfortunately, he's going to have to pit earlier, but can maintain a really good gap to these guys to not lose too much track position once it cycles back around. He should be able to charge back through the field and get his lap back.
Oh, they have a car in the grass and multiple cars hitting.
Oh, wow.
Having rough. And Scott Taylor. Oh, no, Michael Sheffield gets in it. Oh, no, guys. We'll go back here, and this is our 7th caution night brought to you by Orange Nissan Central. We'll go back on the Freaky Fast replay here. As we're showing Matt Oprah, he gets almost to a complete stop to try to get on pit road there. But the incident here was with this 24 here. You see GT passing the 24. I believe we might have.
That was some net code back there.
Or what? Yeah, we might have went too far back here. We have to ride with this for a minute as you see Curtis Preston getting by Zach Strinthrow, Nolan Potter, Matthew Rush, and it'll be the contact off of 4 involving Sheffield in the 24 that will be the ultimate reason for the caution.
Yeah, that was about a good 1.5 foot of net code there that just kicked the 24 around right in front of Sheffield there. Unfortunate for Michael Sheffield in the 5. It's something we talked about, strategy that just puts you back in the pack a little bit and really susceptible to something happening like that.
Definitely is. We're still on replay here trying to find this incident for you fans out there. And here it is, right here, coming off of 4. Look at the net code between the 5 and the 24. Sends the 5 up into the wall. The 24 coming down the track. Cabin Ruff, nowhere to go for him in the 112. That's a hard hit for both those guys. It's been a bad night for Scott Taylor. He's kind of been, a pinball out there, unfortunately, getting knocked around.
Yeah, sometimes when it's not your night, it is just really not your night.
I'll tell you what, the damage I'm looking at on Sheffield's car, it's not pretty. That number 5 right there, it may have some heavy engine damage because sometimes you can get that right side damage and that thing will overheat because it's right there by the cooling of the car. I'm hoping that's not the case. Andrew Little pitting 1 stall ahead of him. I think he hopes that is the case.
I'm going to go back and check it here, and it looks like Michael Sheffield is still idling at 2,000. So I think the engine might be okay on that thing. It's going to lose some speed just to the aero damage, but he should be all right with the engine still at full power.
Yeah, it could very possibly be fine. One thing I'll worry about that damage now is overheating.
Yeah, unfortunately, the way that iRacing does replays, can't see the oil temp, but you'll know for sure if he is, because he'll be ducking out and trying to stay out from behind anybody. He doesn't even want a Seagull to draft with down any of these back stretches or anything. I don't know why Seagull's this far into Kansas, but it could happen.
As we got 23 to go here, guys. I don't know why Seagulls will be in Kansas either, but maybe they came here from North Carolina where I live. I got plenty of them. I'll give them to you.
Zach's stowing away seagulls in his suitcases between racetracks.
Yeah, those are my pet seagulls out there on the racetrack. Sorry, guys. So now Nathan Campbell, the leader, with Bob Fitzpatrick in that second position. Curtis Preston third. Matthew Rush fourth. Kevin Giadrich fifth. GT Irizarry sixth. Nolan Potter seventh. Zach Schwittenthal eighth. Dustin Stallings ninth. Chad B. Singer 10th. And Andrew Little in that 11th position trying to make up ground. And guess what? He did have a fresh set of 4 tires. So we'll see what Andrew Little can do here. He's going to have to try to do everything he can to get up here and win this race, I think.
Yeah, it's look, he's got a lot of wiggle room now with the issues for Michael Sheffield. A lot of things can happen that open up possibilities for him to gain a whole lot of points. But as long as Michael just runs really, middle of the pack, he can't overtake him on points alone. So I think we'll see Andrew Little be very aggressive here. I think he understands the fact that it's probably going to take a win for him to advance.
Definitely looks like that, my friend. Doesn't look good, but I tell you what, it could happen still. And starting in that 11th position, Sheffield right behind him. I think Sheffield's thinking that 68. I hope he just doesn't go up there and win this thing, because that's the man who he's fighting with for this last spot.
And looking up at the front row here, Bob Fitzpatrick in that 3. He had a little bit of contact getting into somebody during one of the initial cautions. Doing a really good job to rebound with that nose damage. Doesn't seem to be hurting him too bad.
Yeah, he's been up there all night, mostly in the top 10. He's done a good job of rebounding with that damage, like you said, but let's see if it hampers him here at the end, with Nathan Campbell leading us to the green flag as that pace car pulls in this time for possibly the last time tonight. 21 to go here at the Kansas Motor Speedway.
Well, we got 20 laps to go. I think, very well this could be the last restart. Your bed's made. You really got to lay in it. Nathan Campbell doing a great job, but, GT and Curtis work really well together. So far, they're going to be really hard to beat, I think.
Oh, man, look at this. Kevin Giadrich on the bottom making it work. He goes to lead. The 14 of GT Irizarry using the bottom to well work. Nolan Potter on the bottom. You got Zach Strittenthal, Dustin Stallings, all these guys that really the top 11 cars, all with you can throw a blanket over the top 12.
Yeah, it's looking like a Talladega race out here with how side by side these guys are. Andrew Little back at 10th currently, just trying to find an opening where he can go to make up a whole lot of positions.
Wow, look at this great racing here. Kevin Giadrich, though, on point now, up front. He's got that 14 directly behind him. I think Kevin Giadrich might even have an extra set of tires possibly still. I'm not sure about that, but I know he didn't take one that stage.
Well, I think, Zach, with this many laps left, I would question not taking a set. It's a bit risky, but we haven't seen a lot of cautions. There hasn't been a lot of, contact between cars. Mostly it's just been the stage breaks, so I wouldn't bet on the fact that there's going to be a super late caution here.
Possibly not, though. Man, look at Andrew Little making his way up. He has to do everything he can trying to make the pass on Dustin Stallings. He's ahead of Travis Everett there now in the 6th position. Where is Michael Sheffield? Michael Sheffield back to 14th and trying to hang on to that pack up front, see what Sheffield can do, but Man,
Oh, Andrew Little loose.
given it everything he's gotten, the 68 a little bit loose, so some contact between the cars up front here. I believe the 2 and the 84 might have had a little contact there.
A little donuts traded on the door of those cars.
They're Dunkin' Donuts out here.
Really surprised Curtis Preston back in 9th position.
Yeah, Curtis Preston. I think he's gotten trapped behind the 52 and Nathan Campbell. He's kind of been behind him ever since the run started, and it's just got guys going to his bottom and kind of holding him in there.
I think, you know, it's really close off the corner with Travis Everett and Dustin Stallings on an 84. About bump drafting the whole way through there. But yeah, I think the logic might be try to save tires running the top the whole run. But as we said before, even if you save a little, it's just not quite enough once that high line becomes the dominant lane.
And Kevin G. Anderson's doing a good job of really controlling the lanes. Nolan Potter now up into the second. You got GT really trying to fight in the middle there. The 84, I think, is going to get to the outside of GT here. That might not be good for GT. The bottom lane definitely coming backwards. Look at Travis Everett push that 84 down the back straightaway. That gives the 84 the good run. The 3 GT trying to close the door, but he's not going to be able to, as that 84 getting pushed by that 59 down this front straightaway.
Yeah, it's the battle between the first and second points there of Travis Everett and GT Rosari. He wants to really get by GT, so he's pushing that 84. Oh, slide job, just, oh, that barely worked.
Wow, that took, I believe the 84 had to definitely lift there. I think GT, he said full send here.
That was a lot of charity by the 84. I believe he's going to be able to claim that on his tax returns.
As now Nolan Potter to the back bumper. Anderson, he's going for the big slide job up front. We can see it from all board. Dustin Stallings, 34 going for it. Not going to have it. He needs to close that door though on GT very quickly. Oh, can't time. GT gets to the outside of him. GT is already out up to the second position.
Yeah, to send that slider, you've almost got to be door to door with the guy going in, or anticipate that you're probably going to bounce off the fence to send it in that hard.
Wow, what crazy racing we got. Kevin Giadder's just trying to hold on to this victory. Remember, he also won our Dover race in the playoffs, so he could come out of here with 2 playoff victories. Not being a playoff driver, but that could definitely send into fear down the rest of these drivers heading into the next season. Little here on board, trying to get everything he can in the 7th position behind Travis Everett and Zach Stridengraw, battling hard. Can he get to the outside of this 2? He's going to need to win this race because Michael Sheffield's still running in the 10th position.
Yeah, we've got 10 to go this time by. It's ticking down. The good news is they're all single file up here. They should be able to draft up and really get close, but I'm just afraid that without something drastic happening in front of him, Andrew Little's just a little bit too far back to really make that move.
He's definitely going to need something to happen. And something very quick as Dustin Stallings now up into the 3rd position in that 84. So he got past Nolan Potter.
Unfortunately, I think a couple laps ago, Travis Everett got into the fence in 1 and 2, and that may have allowed the pass for Nolan Potter to get around him there. But Andrew Little just slowly closing in on the back of that 59 machine. And they're really trying to get hooked up and chase these 2 down that are just pulling away. Kevin Jadrosich and GT Rosari are pulling out just every lap.
Every single lap we're seeing these guys pull the lead. It is it's going to be a mano a mano now with 9 to go for this front 2. GT all over the back bumper of this number 9. Can GT get his way around? I think this is going to be the battle we are going to want to watch the rest of this race because, man, I can tell you what, this is going to come down to very, very interesting to these guys.
Yeah, and this is, you know, both of these guys have to know what's going to happen here. GT's got to throw a major slider, and Kevin's got to know it's coming. Yeah, but GT's also got to know that he can't hesitate and that Kevin is not going to lift for him. So this, I mean, it very well could end up with a a wreck at the end of this thing, and Dustin Stallings sitting in 3rd place can capitalize big time on it.
It's going to definitely have to take a slider. I think there's no way you get to the outside of that 9s unless that 9 just really opens it up. GT looking everywhere. He's trying to do whatever he can to get to the outside of that 9. It's so tough. Wow, super close to the wall for GT. Had to definitely lift a good bit there. Lost a little bit of ground. He's got to rebuild that run back up here with 7 to go.
I'm sure Kevin is seeing that in his mirror and really loving it. It's going to take about another lap to really have GT close back in on him. And Kevin doesn't have to push that hard. He just needs to be in the way.
Yes, he does with 6 to go. Jadrosic holding on to this lead. GT Irizarry trying to pull back into victory lane. Man, oh man, Nolan Potter makes the pass on Dustin Stallings. Look at Andrew Little in the 68. He's going around Dustin Stallings trying to get past Travis Everett.
Really big send on the inside for Andrew Little. Just going to have to slide up here behind Travis Everett. Not quite.
He got him.
Just barely, but he's going to leave the outside open.
Oh, and then, yeah, the 84 will fight back to the outside. This is where you got to throw the slider. Yep.
84 on the wall. Opens up the door for Andrew.
Let's go let the 68 get to the inside here, or outside. Wow.
And back up to the front. GT has gotten right back to the rear bumper of Kevin Jadrosic. He's just hanging on that left rear.
Becoming the 4 to go. If you're GT, you gotta throw. It's gonna have to be the most precise, clean slider ever, and it's not easy to do. He's got to have a run coming to him too. It's almost like he almost needs to back the corner up, going into 3, and have that continuous speed built through off of 4, and have that speed carry down the front straightaway to have that big lunge down in the 1. Because if he's too close and he has to back off before the corner, it's not going to get the lunge like he wants it. Here, coming to 3 to go.
And I think just looking at him, I think it's the wrong call to run lower. Just, try to run even a little bit higher, because you're just giving up exit speed and you really don't catch him until the start of the next corner. You really want to catch him before that, but he's again trying to make that middle seam there and rotate the car a little bit, but he's just giving up too much off the corner, Zach.
Yeah, man, it's so hard to pass here. It is literally one of the toughest places once you get in this formation. It's going to take a mistake or just an amazing bold move from that 14 as we come to 2 to go here at the Kansas Speedway. What can GT Irizarry do? Can Kevin Jadrosic pull off his 2nd playoff victory here this season? Oh, man, it's going to be intense.
And I wonder just the positioning that GT has had. Does he maybe go in a little bit hot and just tap that left rear and, cause maybe a little wiggle, try to get him a little bit out of shape and open up the door that he's got some speed to, try to cut under him?
Wow, Zach Schrittenthal had a big moment in 7th, but this is your Sheffield Graphics white flag. Last time, what does GT do? Not close enough this time. It's going to have to be a turn 3 and 4 move. He's running that little bit lower. It's not going to have good exit speed here. Kevin Jadrosic pulls him down the back straightaway. I think this is over, ladies and gentlemen, unless GT can pull off some miraculous miracles with that 9 or get in the wall here off of turn 4. Kevin Jadrosic is going to be your race winner here tonight at the Kansas Speedway. Wow, what a race here tonight, man.
Really good job for Kevin Jadrosic. Some bold strategy to put himself up front with older tires to hang on. Really good track position and set himself up to come out and almost steal this win from GT and Curtis that were kind of running away with it for a while.
Man, oh man, that was one heck of a race, one heck of a call for Kevin Jadrosic's strategy to get him out here and always playing the strategy card in that 9 machine. Also got Nolan Potter bringing home 3rd with GT in 2nd. So great runs for a lot of these guys. Andrew Little's going to come up a little bit short, finishing in that 5th position with Michael Sheffield in 8th. So definitely look good for the playoffs there for that number 5. And I'll tell you what, we're going to have a heck of a battle next week at Kentucky. But we will have one moment here, a break, and we will find our top 3 finishers. we are back here, ladies and gentlemen, with our top 3 finishers here tonight. I tell you what, it was one heck of a battle all the way down to the end. Heck of a race. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. But we are now going to move on to talk to Nolan Potter, our third place man, one of our playoff drivers, moving on to the round of 8. Hey, Nolan, Zach up in the booth, buddy. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Hey, man, well, you were able to start off in that pole position tonight, Nolan, and really just stay out of trouble and keep yourself up in that top 10, top 5 position all night, and really make it a nice, clean night for you to be able to move on to the round of 8. And how was overall tonight for you there, buddy?
Yeah, it was a pretty good run tonight. Everyone's running pretty clean. Got real difficult to pass late, so you kind of had to throw a slide job, if per se, on people, and you just hope they didn't run in the back of you too hard and turn you a little bit. So.
Yeah, definitely Kansas here. Very tough to pass once it moves up to that top groove. Definitely got to throw them sliders and be hopeful that the person behind you is very kind. But you've done a great job here tonight, man, to bring it home in the 3rd position. We go on to Kentucky next week. One race for the round of 8. How confident are you feeling on possibly going to Phoenix in that Final 4?
Kentucky's one of those more difficult tracks for me, so I might have to throw some practice laps in this week. Corners are definitely different than a little bit of Kansas here, a little bit flatter, so we'll see how it goes.
Awesome stuff, Nolan. Well, man, 3rd here tonight's a good momentum swing for you there to get yourself into this round of 8, and then hopefully you can carry that on to Kentucky next week, and hopefully we'll be seeing you into the top 4 there at Phoenix, buddy. But congrats on 3rd tonight. Anybody want to send a shout out to before we let you go?
Of course, I want to send a shout out to my team. We always get on and run together on Monday nights in packs to kind of see how the cars are going to handle. So without them, I wouldn't be here.
Awesome stuff, Nolan. Well, buddy, congrats on 3rd, and we will catch you next week at Kentucky.
All right. Thank you, Zach.
All right, that was Nolan Potter, your 3rd place man here tonight for Stealth Motorsports. Moving on to the round of 8 at Kentucky. Also, fellow driver moving on to the round of 8 is our 2nd place man. The Busch Beer car is always putting up speed every single week. And like I said, I think the championship is going to have to go through this man right here each and every week. He's in our top 3 almost, GT Irizarry. So he is definitely on it here in these playoffs. Not able to come up with the win yet in the playoffs, but very, very close each and every week. We'll see what his thoughts are on tonight's Kansas race. Hey, GT, it's Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
What's happening, brother?
Well, man, what a race it was tonight for you again. As always, GT showing a lot of speed in that 14 machine, man, as always. And really, really good performance tonight. You coming in here, 2nd in the points, so you're pretty well locked in mostly tonight with 65 points to that cut line. So really just had to, get through this race tonight and build some momentum to go to Kentucky next week. But overall, you had a great battle through most of this race with your teammate, Curtis Preston, there battling with Michael Sheffield, your other teammate. You guys showed speed all night. But there at the end, man, it was just so tough to pass. Anything you think you could have done differently to get around that 9 car?
I mean, if I wanted to race a little bit dirty, I could have, got to the bumper. I mean, you can get the run coming off the turns, and I was trying to time it to get a better run coming off of 4 to where I would have that momentum going down the front stretch and just throw the Hail Mary going into 1 and then try to clear him, and pull up in front of him. But then all he would have did was just, pull the crossover. So I was like, I'm just going to sit here and try wait on, which is tough for Kevin to do, but wait for him to make a mistake and tap the wall, and I could have went by him. But it is what it is, man. The Busch Light Mustang was fast. Just like I told you guys last week, when we look forward to these style racetracks right here, we seem like we're it's to our liking. So it was definitely a lot of fun. I hope we put on a great show for you guys too, man.
Oh, it definitely was. Some of those restarts were very wild with this track when you first take off of these tires. You definitely can use all the lanes. It definitely moves up to the high lane. Very tough to pass from there on. But you did an excellent job all night, putting yourself in position possibly to win this race, man. We go into Kentucky next week. You are one of our round of 8 contenders now. How are you feeling about Kentucky? Do you think you can get to Phoenix in that Final 4?
I ain't gonna lie, man. Kentucky's not one of my favorites. That's just kind of one of those tracks where we just, we just try to hang on there. I really think that that you're probably gonna have to look out for is going to be Sheffield's normally pretty fast there. Curtis is pretty fast there too. I'm really just gonna have to point battle next week versus really thinking that I'm gonna be competing for a podium finish. But it is what it is, man. I mean, hey, appreciate you guys broadcasting this for us. It's always fun having you on board.
Well, Well, thank you very much too, man. It was a great run again tonight. As always, I tell these guys all the time, I think the championship's going to have to go through you if you can make it to that Final Four, as you show speed each and every week, man. So congrats on second again here tonight. Anybody want to send a shout out to you before we let you go?
Yeah, RSR and the Evolution League, these guys put on, I'd say it every week, whenever we get the opportunity to be interviewed. I mean, there's an awesome group of guys here. I mean, by far, one of the best leagues that I've been part of. I can't thank the other guys on the track that are racing around us. I mean, there's a lot of respect out here, and at the same time, you get a lot of respect and a lot of hard racing. Hell, you can't ask for anything better than that. I want to thank my teammates that are at SGR as well, because again, they helped me tremendously with fuel mileage. I don't know, I just don't have that figured out, so I got to go off of what they tell me and then, leave it up to myself on whether we take tires or not, which that's what we did. We took tires and they didn't that last run, so it worked out for us. So that's about it, man. Appreciate it, guys.
Awesome stuff, GT, and we will catch you next week in Kentucky, man.
I hope so. 10-4, man. Have a good night.
All right, you too, buddy. All right, that was GT there. You heard it from the man himself. Going on to Kentucky next week with the round of 8 contention. We'll see if he can get to round of 4 there at Phoenix for next week. But we got our winner tonight, Kevin Jadrosich, in that 9, man. He was really all over the place tonight, starting that 5th position, called some wicked strategy, and was able to pull off this victory. His second one of the playoffs, being a non-playoff driver. That's pretty impressive. So we'll see what his thoughts are after this race. Hey, Kevin, is Zach up in the booth, buddy? You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, well, another victory here in the playoffs, man. I know you're not a playoff driver, but that's your second one of these playoffs here after Dover. So congrats on that, first of all. What a run it was for you again. But, man, I got to ask you, your strategy is definitely one of the most interesting things we see each and every week with the tire limits. What was the strategy coming in, and did it play out like how you wanted it? Because it seemed to work out pretty good.
Yeah, so, I joined the league halfway through the season, and the first race I joined was Kansas during the regular season, and I ran up front the whole race, but I came up short at the end just due to my tire strategy in that race. So going into tonight, I knew that if I wanted a shot at it, I needed tires there at the end, and that's what I did. So I went several laps on old tires, and even there at the end of the race, I still had an extra set in the pits. So, I mean, I definitely preserved my tires.
Well, you did an excellent job of that, man. It definitely put yourself in pretty well position there to pull off this victory again here tonight at the Kansas Speedway. Coming down to the end, GT definitely was all over you there. With this package, you really can't get away. What were your thoughts there at the end, just really being smooth, staying out of the wall? Because, at some point you probably thought that GT was sooner or later going to have to throw that slider.
I mean, I knew coming to the green on that last restart, if I could get down to the front and just hold the white line for the first few laps and let the tires kind of wear in, and then just move out to the wall, I knew that I pretty much had it, just because Kansas is pretty much a one-lane track on old tires. But the thing I was worried about was with GT. There, probably the last 10 laps, if you paid attention, I would always float up to the outside coming out of turn 4. That way he didn't get the outside on me and, have the preferred line going into 1. I mean, GT's a hell of a driver, and he's fast. And I just want to thank him for racing clean. But, hell, man, I did what I could do and pulled it off.
That you definitely did, buddy, man. You were one heck of a driver, that's for sure, man. 2 victories here in the playoffs. We head to Kentucky next week. What's your feelings on Kentucky? Do you think you can get that 3rd victory here in these playoffs?
All I can say is look for tire strategy, because same thing when we went to Kentucky a few weeks back. Tire strategy screwed me over. So just pay attention to tire strategy.
Well, that's a good thing to know. We'll write that one down, buddy. Congrats on the victory tonight. Your second one, like I said, of these playoffs. So congrats on that again, buddy. Anybody want to send a shout out to before we let you go for tonight's victory?
I want to send a shout out to my son Lincoln, Austin Derbyshire, Justin Levine, the guys at Legacy Esports. Just want to thank all them guys for teaching me what they know.
Awesome stuff, buddy. Well, congrats again, like I said. We'll catch you next week at Kentucky.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Yep, you have a good night, man. All right, that was Kevin G. Anderson, your winner here tonight in that 9 machine Yingling car. It was the beer battle there at the end. I didn't even notice that. I wish I would have said that, but yeah, that was awesome there to see that Yingling versus Bud Light there at the end. So or Bush. Oh man, I just screwed it up. Oh, GT's gonna hate me now. But we'll go through the race results here. As you can see, Kevin G. Anderson was able to pull home that victory. Second place will go to GT Irizarry. Third, Nolan Potter. Fourth was points leader Travis Everett. Fifth, just coming up a little bit short in these playoffs, is Andrew Little on that 68 machine. Sixth is going to go to Dustin Stallings. Seventh is Casey Kuntz. Eighth, Michael Sheffield. Ninth is Curtis Preston. 10th will go to Randy Cornwell. 11th is Chad Biesinger. 12th, Zach Schrittenthal. 13th is going to be the 11 car of Matthew Rush. 14th is Harold Watkins in that 22 machine. 15th will be Marc-Andre Thibodeau. 16th, last car on the lead lap, is fan favorite Craig A. Burns. 17th is Bob Fitzpatrick. 18th will go to Nathan Campbell. 19th will go to Drew Hatcher. 20th, Robert Nestor. 21st is Kevin Zabladil. 22nd, Adam Buzzio. 23rd, David Hall. 24th is Matthew Upbrook. 25th, Scott Taylor. 26th, Kevin Ruff. 27th will go to Brock Potter. 28th, Anthony Younes. 29th is Michael Martino. 30th position will be Ryan Ezel. 31st, Richard Gonzalez. 32nd is Daniel Gonzalez. And rounding out the field tonight is Kevin Sevilla in the 33rd, guys. And that is our race results, man. What a race we've seen here. Brandon, what is your final thoughts on tonight's event?
Well, a super exciting cutoff race here. Fortunate for a few of these playoff guys that were trying to point their way in. Ran into a lot of bad luck. Andrew Little, great race, just coming up a little bit short. And I'm excited to move on to Kentucky for this round of 8 knockout round before we move on to Phoenix.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm very excited for that. Next week is going to be very critical with it only being one race to get to that Final Four at Phoenix the next week. So we got 2 weeks left here at the RSR Cup Series. It's going to be 2 frantic weeks trying to do their best to get themselves a championship. So shout out to all the playoff drivers, shout out to all the drivers. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Now we're going to send it off to the boss man, Robert Moyer Jr.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. All right. Well, thank you again from me here at Freaky Fast for everybody tuning in. Thank you to RSR and Evolution Racing League for letting us be a part of this awesome racing. But congratulations to our race winner, Kevin, again, and GT for bringing it home third, and Nolan bringing it home third there. I mean, GT second. Sorry, see, I messed it up 2 Zach. So, but anyways, we will be live tomorrow night in the trucks with SRU as Brandon Callaway up here in the booth. We'll be running there tomorrow night. So if you want to see what he can do tomorrow night at SRU, tune in at 7:50. But until, go ahead, you gonna say something?
I was just laughing.
Oh, you're just laughing? Well, gotta get the fans out there to root you on, right? I mean, come on, man. But
oh yeah, I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. All right, but yeah, me and Zach will be up in the booth tomorrow night with Sim Racing Unleashed at 7:50 Eastern. But until then, we'd like to say thank you again. God bless everybody. We love you all. Peace out.
Ciao.
Bye.